Welcome back to Reading Bible Oak. I'm gonna try to keep it tight today. Yo, how? I know it's a way to make full screen. It's okay. Job 29. Hope y'all doing all right today. Normally I get right to it, right? I do hope you're doing all right today. Oh, that I, as in the months of old, as in the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone upon my head, and by his light I walked through darkness. As I was in the prime of my days, when the friendship and counsel of God were over my tent, when the Almighty was still with me, and my boys were around me. Did he meant to say boys? Is he talking about his kids? Because I would think, though, you talking about the homies. But okay. When my steps through rich pastures were washed with butter and cream from my livestock, and the rock poured out from me streams of oil. When I went out to the gate of the city, when I took my seat as a city father in the square, the young men saw me and hid themselves. They aged, arose, and stood respectfully. The princes stopped talking, and they put their hands on their mouths. The voices of their nobles were hushed, and their tongues stuck to the roof of their mouths. For when an ear heard my name mentioned, it called me happy and fortunate. And when an eye saw me, it testified for me approvingly. Because I was rescued, the poor who cried for help, and the orphan who had no helper. The blessing of him was about to perish came upon me, and I made the widow's heart sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind, and I was feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy. I investigated the case I did not know and assured justice. And I smashed the jaws of the wicked, and I snatched the prey from his teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my rest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. I would probably use that part right there in another way. Lord, can you resource? Lord, I come before you humbly today to ask you to multiply my resources as the sand, whether it's finance, whether it's wisdom, because I know wisdom is with you alone. Yeah, I probably come along, right? Just like that, I'll come in there. My root is spread out and open to the waters, and the dew lies all night upon my branch. My glory and honor are fresh in me, being constantly renewed, and my bow gains new strength in my hand. They listened to me and waited and kept silent for my counsel. After I spoke, they did not speak again, and my speech dropped upon them like a refreshing shower. They waited for me and for my words as for the rain, and they opened their mouths as for the spring rain. I smiled at them when they did not believe, and they did not diminish the light of my face. I chose a way for them and sat as chief. And I dwelt as king among his soldiers, as one confronts mourners. You know how I made this big before, and now it's tripping. Window, zoom. It's supposed to be a little easier. No. But now those younger, see, I want to talk instead of read. It's like a mixture. It's like a balance. But now those younger than I mock and laugh at me, whose fathers I refuse to put with the sheepdogs of my flock. You gotta follow the gnat, yo. You can't just swat at the gnat and not follow. Yeah. Indeed, how could the strength of their hands profit me? Vigor had perished from them. They are gaunt with want and famine. They gnaw the dry and barren ground by the night and gloom of waste and desolation. I laugh a little bit, only because when I was a kid, like I was a chubby kid, right? And sometimes I'd be real hungry. And I'd be at my max. I'd be done ate like 3 pieces of chicken. And I would just gnaw on that bone and be dry. Hey, you finna suck the life out that thing, man. Pause. What's up with my mouse? Alright, here we go. They pluck and eat saltwort, mallows among the bushes. I'm assuming that's worms. And their food is the root of the broom shrub. They are driven from the community. They shout. I was going to say they shout out, but they shout after them as after a thief. They must dwell on the slopes of waters and in holes in the grounds and in rocks. Among the bushes they cry out like wild animals, because beneath the prickly scrub they gather and huddle together. They are the sons of the worthless and nameless fools. They have been driven out of the land. And now I have become the subject of their taunting. Yes, I am a byword and a laughing stock to them. They hate me, they stand aloof from me, and do not refrain from spitting in my face. Job, you don't go out nowhere, do you? All right, for God has loosed his bowstring and afflicted and humbled me. They have cast off the bridle before me. On my right, the rabble blood rises. They push my feet away, and they build up their ways of destruction against me like an advancing army. They break up and clutter my path, upsetting my plans. They profit from my destruction. No one restrains them. As through a wide breach they come. Amid the crash, they roll over on me. They roll on over me. Terrors are turned upon me. They chase away my honor and reputation like the wind, and my prosperity has passed away like a cloud. And now my soul is poured out within me. The days of affliction have seized me. My bones are pierced with aching in the night season, and the pains that gnaw me take no rest. By the great force of my disease, my garment skin is disfigured and blemished. It binds about me like the collar of my coat. God has cast me into the mire, the swampland, and I have become worthless like dust and ashes. Yeah, I can't, off top, I can't find something to do with dust or ashes. I got a partner who would figure it out, though. He's very resourceful. I cry to you for help, Lord, but you do not answer me. I stand up, but you only gaze indifferently at me. You have become harsh and cruel to me. With the might of your hand, you keep me alive only to persecute me. You lift me up on the wind and cause me to ride upon it, and you toss me about in the tempest and dissolve me in the storm. For I know that you will bring me to death and to the house of meeting for all the living. However, does Not one falling in a heap of ruin stretch out his hands, or his disaster therefore cry out for help? Did I not weep for one whose life was hard and filled with trouble? Was not my heart grieved for the needy? Ain't I done prayed for some people? With my whole heart, he filled. I get it. I get it. When I expected good, then evil came to me. I just waited on the light. Darkness came anyway. Am I seething within and my heart is troubled and cannot rest? Days of affliction come to meet me. I go about mourning without comfort, my skin blackened by disease, not by the heat of the sun. I stand up in the assembly and cry out for help. I am a brother to jackals, howling jackals, and a companion to ostriches. Ostriches, and it says they scream dismally. I didn't know that about no ostrich. Y'all know that? Ostrich. Now I want to know about ostriches. My skin falls from me in blackened flakes, and my bones are burned with fever. That's crazy, man. Therefore my lyre is used for the sound of mourning, and my flute, the voices of those who weep. Alright, we got it. Okay, stay on page. Don't do nothing stupid. Okay, now leave page. Alright, so let me look up ostriches. And until next time, guys.